Today we will be discussing on the chapter Diversity and Discrimination. In the previous chapter, we have already learnt about diversity. What is diversity? It is difference between people. That is, in one word, diversity. Now, we are coming to a new term, that is discrimination. Before understanding discrimination, few other things we need to learn. Otherwise, this term will not be clear to you. We are coming to the first one, that is difference and prejudice. Now, what is difference? While we are discussing about diversity, you came to know that there is a difference of many things between people, and these difference only is the father of all these types of diversities what we find in India or in other places in the world. Prejudice is a word that means some preconceived opinion without knowing the truth. Sometimes it happens that when we think about some person, without knowing him properly, we have some ideas in our mind. We just start believing all those things. And if that is supported someone of our near and dear, then that has a strong background in our mind that maybe he is like that. This maybe has no reason, and we started believing that. This preconceived idea in our mind is called as prejudice. Let us start with an example. Suppose you are playing in a playground with all of your friends. One new girl, she came and she were not that well dressed. She was wearing a very shabby dress, and she started telling you that she wants to be in your team. Just looking at her shabby dress, you have decided that she is not from your same social background, and you avoided her, and you told her that no way, you cannot be my friend and we are not willing to play with you. This is a preconceived idea. You never ask that girl that from where he is and why whatever is the reason why he is wearing that shabby dress, or whatever the reason, is he rich, poor, these all are not of your concern. You just started thinking something negative about him, just having a look on him. This prejudice is very strong, very strongly negative impacted on your mind, and that is never ever changing. Sometimes some prejudices are so strong that throughout our life, how much we are educated, we cannot come out of them. Then think about them, those who are lacking education, whatever people are influencing them, they started believing that. And these prejudices actually are the root cause for all these that violence in the society. Sometimes what we see, because we don't know, because we don't try to know, because we don't have time to know, we just have some preconceived ideas in our mind, which is actually ruining the peaceful nature of our country also sometimes. Now, why this? What is the background from where we got these prejudices? Let us discuss on that. It can be geography, it can be history. Geography, how it is geography? One girl came from northeast. You have some preconceived idea in your mind that they do this, they do that, like that. They are also a common human being like you and me. They also live a common life like all of us. Maybe their way of living is different, but it is not that they are different. They are also common human being. When I had a childhood friend who was from Manipur, and the first thing people by her look used to ask, from where you are. Because of the look, it is not for any other reason that they want to know her better. It is just for her look, that she is looking a little Mongolian. It is looking some way a little different than the places we brought up. The people are with the mixed culture with Aryan civilization the most. That is the influence of history. So the geography as well as history, the culture, the way society is developed, people are developed in that way, and that generates, that give birth to many prejudices in our mind. Do you know we have major 8 religion? The major religions practiced in the world we have all in India. Do you know that we speak in 1600 languages and there are more than 100 dance forms, just dance forms, more than 100 dance forms. How can we think that everyone will be just like me? The way I brought up, the entire world will be like that. So there are differences, and these differences create prejudices in our mind. Strange culture, something that I never did in my life, but I see that other people, that is their culture, unfamiliar to me. I like to oppose them. That is our common mentality, the way we brought up. We feel that the one I don't know, it is the negative thing or the wrong thing. But is that the correct that education is providing us? Education is teaching us to accept everything. What has some positive value in your life, accept that positively without knowing. Rejecting something is rejecting a major knowledge from your life, which we cannot afford even. It is prejudice always judge people negatively, and as they judge them negatively, we like to see them as inferior. So the boy or the girl you are not willing to mingle because he or she is not from your community. You find that maybe you are a vegetarian and the new one in the class may be a non-vegetarian. They are bringing their food, and when you see in the lunch break, your reaction is something different. Whatever you have heard in your life, or you have never heard also, with your preconceived ideas, you started judging that particular person on its food habit, maybe on his or her way of dressing, or their mother tongue, their language, their English pronunciation. Everything matters when you are giving birth to prejudice in your mind. Often some of our prejudices are so strong that we cannot come out. Even we try, if we try also, we cannot come out. We sometimes feel that it is perfectly all right to make others also our friend, but our prejudices are so strong that in a simple blow and a very light blow also, all this whatever we thought positive, that positive thought just washed away, and we started thinking negatively again. Prejudices are giving birth to some of the stereotypes also, as we brought up. Now coming up the next topic, that is creating stereotype. What is stereotype? By the name stereotype, that is a particular impact in your mind. Boys never cry. Boys cannot cry. They are very strong and they never cry. This is a common thing that in your household you brought up with this type of some words. That how can you cry? Boys, how can you cry? You are a boy. How can you cry like that? Why? They don't have their mind. Do they have the right to express their expression? If it is that crying is a part of our human nature, then who forced you not to cry? That is a stereotype. In the other way, girls always crying baby doll. Why this type of a particular stereotype? Because boys are strong, girls are weak. Then why Indian Army these days even accepting girls in the Indian Army? PV Sindhu, the recent, I hope you know, all of you know her name. Do you think she is a very weak girl and that's the reason she is winning her medals one after another? It is not like that. We have very strong ladies also, women also. At the same time, we have very strong men also. Some few men are weak, some few female are weak. So it is not depending on either they are boy or they are girl. It is a stereotype in our mind. It is a fixed impression in our mind, and it is the way we are spreading generation after generation. When people fix into one image, that is we call stereotype. Example I have already given you. Now what is inequality? Inequality and discrimination. Now think now one after another. First we discussed about prejudice. Prejudice is something, some negative impact in your mind. This prejudice sometimes is giving birth to a stereotype image. This is good and that is bad. This good and bad, that line, prejudice is drawing that line. And the stereotypes from our upbringing, we are accepting all this in our mind, that what we supposed to do and what we suppose not to do. And that is the root cause of discrimination, the one we are discussing now, diversity and discrimination. We are different. Discrimination is a word that is actually giving some more food to the diverse, to being difference. Discriminate each other. There is a boy and a girl in a family. Both of them, they are very studious, they are good in their studies and education. One day there was some problem in a village, and the poor family, they have to decide, the poor parents, they have to decide whether they are sending the boy to the school or the girl to the school. And what they started sending the boy because they cannot afford much, and the girl was staying back, though they both were same way they brought up, they are equal, they both were studious, but the girl kept at home to help her mother in household work, keeping that fact in mind, keeping that stereotype in mind, that after marriage this girl has to do all these works only, so it is better to keep her home. And that is the point. The family started discriminating a girl, and there the term inequality comes on. Discrimination, we can see that we are discriminated in the society. We are forcing this term discrimination in the society in various ways. We discriminate poor. There are many schools in India even today, even many places, many temples are there in India, where the poor people, they have their other place, and the rich can enter easily, rich can go somewhere else, or the people of the higher caste, they have their privileges. The higher caste students, places for them are different, and the lower caste student, they are sitting separately. How do you feel in your class if your place is fixed for your caste that you have no control on? You cannot control your birth, you cannot control your caste, and our caste system is ruining our Indian society in this way, because this is one of the reasons where we need to follow, we have to follow that whatever from the ancient age, some few people in a they just put a stigma on the society, and we are following that. The people, some of them now, though they came out, but it is after a fierce battle, we can say, the social battle. Another thing we can say that sometimes it is even the color of skin. Do you know about the fight between South African Negroes and the white people? Yes, even in India also we experience that. The color of skin of European are different. It is different, and it differentiated, it discriminated India for a long time. What are we doing now after getting independence, after passing so many years? This discrimination is even there in the society, even today, till today. We discriminate people on their profession, the way they earn their livelihood. Some of the work like sweeping, like cleaning the some of the manual places, or people those who are working in the burning ghats, or we don't allow them in the society. We don't like to be friend with them. We don't like to entertain them as a human being. Sometimes we have a separate place for them. Money also it is a fact that money acts as a major terms of discrimination. We always like people of our same society. What is this society for? How this society stands for? It's actually the same way, the balancing one. If it is someone very lower if it is someone who is rich, we like to be friend with them because we want to go to the higher step, and that is the measurement. And if someone is doing a very low profile job, a manual job, We don't even like to entertain them in our home. That is the way a social system is discriminating, is forcing discrimination in the society. Here I want to tell you a small story. It's a story from a leader, great Indian leader. In his student life, he was a very good student, and he was traveling. He even went to Europe to complete, London to complete his law studies, and he came back as a barrister. He was from a very lower caste. One day, along with his friends, they were all students, they were coming back to his place, and for any reason the train was on time, but his father was late, even the servant. Both of them, they were late to come, and these boys, well dressed, they were just waiting in the station platform, and it was the time for dusk. It is almost dark, and they still they are waiting. At the time, the station master came to them and then asked them that how he can help them. He never knew that what was their caste. Before that, his behavior was completely different. It was polite, it was gentle, and he offered his help to them, and he said that as their father is not yet there, how can he help them to arrange a cart or to send them home. These boys they had money with them, so they requested that if the station master can arrange a bullock cart for them, that they can travel and they can go back to the place where they are supposed to go. And if they can get a place at least where they can sit comfortably, and they can wait for their father to come to pick them up. Everything was all right till here. All of a sudden, as it was the time before independence of India, caste system was very much prominent in the society. The station master asked them, what is their caste? The answer was Mahar. Mahar is a caste, those who are doing all these menial jobs, what I told you, and they are not allowed even settle in the village premises. They are not allowed to enter in the village temple. They are not allowed even sharing the same well from where the other higher caste they are taking their water. The moment the station master heard that name, the caste name, that is Mahar, he just walked off from the place, and he said that he just not responds to them anymore. These poor boys, the students, they are in their student life like you all. They are sitting quietly, they are waiting for their father to come. Some problem, he never turned up. Then they tried themselves to get a bullock cart, and by the grace of the station master, within this time period, this word spread nicely that these boys are the Mahar boys, and none of the bullock cart owners, the bullock cart, those who are transporting them, they were not ready to allow them to sit in their bullock cart, because they felt that if these boys are sitting in the bullock cart, their cart even will get dirty. They are well dressed, they are enough neat and clean, but just it is due to caste. They were discriminated. They offered even double money, but even then that never works, because caste system is that much strong. It was that much strong at that point of time in India. They never got a transportation. They were waiting and waiting. This story, it is a real story from life of Dr. BR Ambedkar. Mahar is a Dalit, they said. Do you know what is the meaning of Dalit? Dalit means someone that is easily breakable. That is it is a local term. The meaning is easily breakable. So the caste system, they framed in a way that these people, those without whose help the society cannot run. We even need sweepers, we even need some people, those who can wash our utensils. We need people, those who can clean our clothes or whatever the dust and dirt in the society. But we consider them as lower caste, as they are opting for this type of some occupation. These Mahars were like that, and they were never allowed to enter. They never had proper education also. So these Dalit is a term that is breakable, easily breakable people. They can do anything. The higher caste people, they can do anything with this Dalit caste of people, the Dalit caste people. Now, these broken caste, that is Dalit, they don't like to be termed like that. Think some of your fault, which is not actually your fault, that being taking birth in a caste, and you are stereotyping them with a very obnoxious term that they don't like. Rather, they like the term untouchable, because people never like to touch them. Mahatma Gandhi has given a very good name for this caste. He started calling them Harijan. Do you know what is Harijan? Harijan is nothing but the man of God. Yes, they are man of God. We all are created by Him, if we believe in that way. And if it is true, how can we ignore, how can we discriminate a caste just for their job or for their birth, that they born like that? Let me tell you some few words about Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar or BR Ambedkar. He was the first person from this Mahar caste. The story I told you about him, he was the first person from this Mahar caste who got this education, and who was a barrister who went to London to achieve a degree. He came back. He was the leader who changed the thinking. He always insisted his own caste people to send their children to the school for education. Now, education was not that easy for everyone, mostly those who are in the lower caste people. After independence, though the scenario now has changed a lot, but even now we are not beyond those culture where we were. Dr. Ambedkar fought for everything, fought for the rights of the Dalits, fought for the right of his own lower caste people. And the first thing he did as the father of our constitution, he was the maker of our constitution, he termed equality as the major word in the constitution. We all are equal, and that is the word equality that can completely outthrow discrimination from the present society. But is it really true? Yes, they fought a lot. Mahatma Gandhi fought. Other leaders, they never thought even about all those castes. BR Ambedkar, who has given birth to the thought that everyone is equal in the world. But are we the same? Are we the one who think in the same way? Are we not discriminating every day for any major or minor reason? Think about your life. Think about your neighborhood. See others and start thinking about the discrimination you face in your current society. Yes, we strive for equality. Striving for equality was the main reason why Indians started fighting against British. I told you, apartheid, that is the fight between black and white, the skin color discrimination. A person who is Asian, naturally his skin color is black or brown. But the people, those who are residing nearby the Mediterranean region, their skin color is white. Europe, Denmark, Scotland, you will find all European countries or American countries will find some people, those who are with white skin color. So based on that, many places we have seen, mostly the British colonies, they started discriminating people. That was the first reason Indian people, they started fighting against British. They want equality, they wanted equality, they strive for equality. No government jobs were available for Indians, which was one reason, because the Indians, they wanted to take part in government jobs and in the administration to govern their own country. They started fighting and striving for equality. Dalit, women, tribal and many other sectors in the society, many a times we find that they started fighting, even the peasants. Now let us one after another example where these all people, they started fighting. Dalits, I told you, their caste, they never allowed to get even water from the same well. Rather, they always were provided some dirty places to live in and to get water. Even their foods also, they throw out from the higher caste. They are forced to have all those type of foods. So they started fighting for equality under some great leader like Dr. BR Ambedkar. Next we are coming to women. I gave you another example for a boy and a girl who are, the girl was discriminated to go to school because of the stereotype, the prejudice in our mind that girls are confined and at home just to help in household chores, nothing else. They suppose not to go to school, what they will do going to school, because anyway they need to marry and they need to stay at home. Women started fighting for their own right at the time of First World War, when they actually came out from the domestic boundaries and they started working as men, because their main part were the male of the most of the families, they were busy fighting in some of the borders or the boundaries. Women came out and they started doing their own business and they proved themselves successful. At the same time, they started asking for their voting rights. And it was not so easy to change a stereotyped idea of a society. So they also need to fight a lot. Even today in India, so many brides they are burning for getting more money, burning for getting wealth. And all these things happened only the stereotyped idea for the in the society. Women are still now fighting to get their equal right as men. Many of the places women are paid less. I'm not discussing about the rural areas, but mostly in the urban areas and some of the rural places also. It is there is a very bad comparison of getting salary between man and women. If it is a man, he needs to earn more, and for man also it is so bad that it is fixed idea for him that he only has to go for work and has to earn money. The rest everyone can depend on them. So this is also one place where we are seeing the inequality in our society. The another thing is the tribal. Yes, the tribes, we never accepted wholeheartedly the tribes in our society. It was from the beginning when the tribes has their own culture, their look is different, their way of living is different, so they are not equal to us. That is the idea, that is a stereotype prejudice we have in our mind, and we started behaving in that way. Many revolts and revolution we have seen in past in the British India to get the tribes to get their rights. The Coal Rebellion, the Santahal Rebellion, they wanted their right, their equal right from the British. Coming to the peasants, the farmers, they started fighting even their fight for equality against their money lenders or the landlords, those who occupied a lot of land in their hand and started exploit them economically and socially too. They have a stereotype idea that these peasants, these farmers, they cannot get more than this, and this much is enough for them, and they need to live in this small economic background only. And the peasants, the farmers, many a time they came out, they started fighting against this unequal behavior of the society. Many leaders such as Dr. BR Ambedkar, they fought for the right of these people. Like the Dalit, we said, we better not utter this term, as we know that this is the term. Actually, it is hurting people. When you are following a stereotype, you are following a prejudice, you are actually hurting people by using those terms. A person who cannot walk properly, we need to help them to walk. It is not that we will make fun of them that they cannot walk. Actually, we are doing the same thing here. Think about some students, some children in your school also. You will find some students, they cannot learn like you and me. They have some learning disabilities. They cannot learn. First, we cannot tell them, we cannot mark them that they cannot study, they cannot be in the same school. But at the same time, we need to help them. We need to help them the way they can learn, and we have a special name for them. They are special, so they are special children. They are not someone who is backward or disqualified to learn, disqualified to gather knowledge, and you cannot make fun of them because their way of learning is different. And a small story for you children. Thomas Alva Edison, one day when he was just 6 years old, he came back from his school and with a letter in his hand, and he has given that letter to his mother. He was so small that he cannot even read what it is written there. He just hand over the letter to his mom, where it was written that I will tell you what it was written later. Rather, what his mother read, how his mother read that letter. Let me tell that first. Dear Mrs. Edison, your boy is somehow different. Our class cannot provide the type of knowledge, the extra knowledge that he always asks for. You better pay more attention on him. He is a genius. Help him to learn more. Help him to gather more knowledge and be a great man in the future. And the mother started working on his own boy. One day after his mother's death, Thomas Alva Edison, you know that what is his contribution in the society. Yes, the light on us is given by him. He was the inventor of that, electricity. So one day after his mother passed away, he was searching all his mother's belongings to gather them, arrange them properly. He found that letter where it is written that your boy is, Mrs. Edison, your boy is worthless. He cannot learn, he cannot do anything in his life. So just keep him at home, don't send him to school. What do you think? If this letter that day his mother is taking negatively, maybe even today we are in the dark, we cannot get the light also on our head. So Mrs. Edison, his mother, has taken it positively, and this positivity impacted his life and our life too. So I request, what we learn from this chapter is we need to enforce positivity, not prejudice. We need to remove negativity from the society. We need to remove discrimination from the society. The writers of our constitution said that the respect of diversity is a significant element in ensuring equality. If we cannot respect each other, we cannot treat each other equally. Inequality will be in our mind, which we cannot remove even. People struggle, positive action of the government as well as positive action for all human beings can remove prejudice, stereotypes and discrimination from the society. We can be diversified, but we need to be united in the society.